Once, in a quiet village wrapped in golden wheat fields and gentle hills, there lived a boy named Jack. He had curious eyes, quick feet, and a mouth just a little faster than his heart. He lived with his mother, a kind, steady woman with rough hands and a gaze full of patience. She was a seamstress, stitching clothes for the farmers of the land, thread by thread, dusk after dusk. Jack was clever, too clever for his age. He knew how to dodge chores, how to make grown-ups laugh, how to spin tales from thin air. And for a long time, that cleverness kept him out of trouble, away from scoldings, punishments, and the cold silence that follows disappointment. But there was one thing he hadn't learned yet: the difference between being clever and being honest. It all began with a basket of eggs. One morning, as the sun peeked through the shutters, his mother handed him a small woven basket. "Jack," she said softly, "please take these eggs to Miss Clara. Tell her thank you for helping me with the loom. Don't be late." Jack nodded, grabbed the basket, and was soon distracted. First, by a squirrel darting through the trees, then by a fat old toad croaking beside the creek. By the time he reached Miss Clara's cottage, he was rushing. He tripped on the stones. 2 eggs shattered against the floor. "Oh, Jack!" the old woman cried, startled. "It was a crow," he blurted. "It tried to snatch them. I fought it off." Miss Clara blinked, then laughed, enchanted by the boy's bold tale. She said nothing to his mother, and Jack, feeling victorious, let the lie settle in his chest like a secret treasure. That was how it started, and the lie became a habit. In the weeks that followed, Jack lied about feeding the ram, about watering the garden, about books he hadn't read, and tasks he'd left undone. Always with a grin, always with a story. A lightning bolt struck the bucket mom. The mill was overrun with cats. There were wolves blocking the path. I had to wait till they left. The villagers laughed. They called him the story boy, the tale spinner, the golden seamstress's son. But laughter over time turned quiet. Smiles faded into wary glances, and whispers began. "Do you think he's telling the truth? Maybe it's just another one of his tales." And doubt, like weeds in the garden, began to grow. One night Jack's mother came home, her eyes tired, her fingers sore from a long day by candlelight. She sat on the edge of her bed and looked at her son. "Jack," she said gently, "tomorrow morning, I need you to deliver this dress to the village over the hill. It's for the blacksmith's daughter, her wedding. It's important. I trust you. Do you promise?" "I promise, Mom," he said, with a nod that felt heavier than usual. But that night the skies turned. Dark clouds swallowed the stars. The wind howled like a hungry wolf. Thunder cracked across the hills, and Jack woke, shivering beneath his blanket. He looked out the window, rain pouring in sheets, and a thought crept in. What if I just say I tried, and the river overflowed, or the bridge collapsed? Maybe she'll believe me. So that's what he did. When morning came, he lay in bed and waited. His mother, already dressed, asked, "Did you deliver it, my dear?" He swallowed, then said, voice trembling, "I did. But the bridge was gone. I couldn't cross." She looked at him, long and quiet, searching his eyes for the truth. "I see," she said at last, and went about her day. A few days later, Jack wandered the fields under a calm, soft sky. The breeze was gentle, the sun warm on his back. Then suddenly, smoke, thick black smoke rising over the trees. It was Mr. Parker's barn. Burning, Jack ran, heart pounding. "Fire! Fire!" he shouted through the village. "Mr. Parker's barn is on fire!" but no one moved. "It's probably another story," murmured a woman at her window. "Didn't he say there was a dragon in the well just yesterday?" An old man muttered. Jack pleaded, screamed, cried. "This time it's true. Please, I swear." Minutes passed, precious burning minutes. When help finally came, buckets in hand, the barn had already lost half its hay. 2 sheep were gone. Mr. Parker stormed through the smoke, his face red with fury. He grabbed Jack by the shoulders. "Why didn't anyone come when you called?" The boy, choking on tears and ash, whispered, "Because I always lie." And silence fell on the village, a silence louder than flames, heavier than thunder. That night Jack couldn't sleep. He sat outside the cottage, staring at the sky, now clear again, mocking in its peace. He thought of every tale, every twisted truth, every smile that might never return. His mother came quietly, sat beside him, placed a hand gently on his shoulder. "Did you learn?" she asked. Not with anger, just tired love. Jack nodded, eyes wet. She looked at the stars. "Words are like thread," she said softly. "They sew trust, just like I sew cloth. But pull the wrong thread, and everything can come undone." He cried then, not to win sympathy, not to escape trouble, but because it was real. I just I just wanted people to listen, to like me. They did," she said, brushing his hair from his face. "But being liked isn't the same as being trusted. Trust is deeper. Trust is love that stays even when things go wrong." From that day on, Jack changed. It wasn't easy. When he spoke the truth, people still questioned him. When he asked for help, they paused. When he warned of something, they checked twice before believing, but he kept going, step by step, truth by truth. And slowly, like a stream carving stone, trust began to return. Years later, when Jack had grown, a neighbor looked him in the eye and said, "If you said it, then it must be true." Jack smiled, and for the first time truly felt whole,